Hello, this is Kirill from forexboat.com and welcome back to the course on setting up your virtual private server for reliable Forex trading. In today's tutorial, we will discuss the process of choosing a virtual private server. So how do you choose a VPS? The choice of a VPS can be very difficult at times because there are heaps of providers of this service out there. Just some examples include Rackspace, VPS Smart, EuroVPS, Photon VPS, VPS Net, and there are many others, other providers out there. So how would you go about choosing a provider and then choosing the right VPS within that provider? Well, like with any choice, there have to be some parameters and some criteria. So the things we'll be looking at are the following four main parameters: uptime and support. So how much percentage of the time is the VPS online, and that should be really close to 99.99%, meaning that the VPS is almost always online and there's no issues with it. And also support, how efficient and quick is the technical support of the VPS service provider. Number two is the size, and by size I mean the RAM or the memory of the virtual private server. And this is influenced by the number of MetaTrader 4 terminals that you want to install. And usually I recommend budgeting about 200 or 250 megabytes at least for every MetaTrader 4 terminal you install. Better if you can do more than that. Next is price. So price will vary based on size, but it'll also vary from provider to provider. So sometimes you'll be overpaying for different sometimes you'll be overpaying for the name of the provider. Like in the case of Rackspace, you might be paying way too much just because it's a very well-known company. And sometimes you will also be overpaying for features of the VPS that you don't really need for Forex trading, like a control panel, for example. That's a very good example. On average, you pay an extra $7 per month minimum for a control panel, whereas you don't need it at all for Forex trading. And also another parameter is proximity to trade server. And I've put this parameter fourth because it is only important for specific trading systems. And by that I mean scalpers and high frequency trading systems, or not. Of course, we won't be working with high frequency trading systems, but systems that require very quick execution of orders. So if your system is one of those, then your proximity will go from number 4 maybe up to number 1. If we put all of those parameters into a table, it'll look something like this: that uptime and support is your parameter, and your criteria of choice is some live tests that you might have done or that somebody might have done already of that particular VPS provider, checking its uptime, its connection availability, and so on, and maybe some endorsements that existing clients of the VPS provider have already given to this provider, saying that the service is good or the service is not good, and then you would stay away from that provider. Also the size and the RAM, that's basically directly linked to the number of MetaTrader 4 terminals you have. If you can afford to budget approximately 500 megabytes of RAM per every MetaTrader 4 terminal, then you should be somewhere in the sweet spot. But I wouldn't recommend going below 300 megabytes per MetaTrader 4 terminal. Price depends directly on your budget, so you do need to look at things like extra features which you're not interested in, and the name of the provider. But if your budget is unlimited, of course you're going to go with the most expensive provider, say Rackspace, for example, and you're going to pay ridiculous prices where you pay per hour rather than per month. But if your budget is limited, like most of us, then you will first of all find the best value for money in terms of the provider, and also then select only the features that you actually need. And finally, proximity to trade server is pretty black and white. Your Forex robots either require a very quick connection to the trade server because they need to send the trades very efficiently, or they don't. And in most cases, your Forex robots won't require to send trades instantly, and therefore you don't really have to worry about this parameter, and you can get the virtual private server anywhere. whereas if you're using scalpers or something like that, then it's preferable that you get the virtual private server in the same country or maybe even city of the trade server. So that's that. And just to finish off today's tutorial, I wanted to show you that on the ForexBoat website, you can, if you go to www.forexboat.com/VPS, I have a section where I've reviewed some virtual private servers, and I've chosen the top 2, out of which you can simply select the one that is right in your case, depending on the Forex robots that you're using and depending on your budget. So right now there's 2, maybe I'll add a few more as we go, but for now I think these 2 are the top ones and you'll be able to select from them. Once again, this review gets updated, so maybe at the time when you're watching this video the virtual private server providers are different, so come and have a look here. So you just have to go to forexboat.com/VPS. And going back to our tutorial, that basically means that I'm making your selection criteria a bit easier because I've already done this part. I've already done the tests, I've already checked the endorsements and talked to the support. I've only left the best of the best, and from them you'll be able to choose based on these other remaining 3 parameters. So I hope you check this page out, and hopefully that will help you choose your virtual private server and make your choice a bit simpler to make. And I look forward to seeing you on the next tutorial. Until then, happy trading.